Today's video, we start with the KEVYN AUCOIN Face Forward Color Corrector. Yes, I'm painting my face green. You got to stick around to find out why. Then we move on to the new Pat McGrath Blurring Under Eye Powder in Baby Pink. And soon we try to get popular. See what I did there with the One Size by Patrick Starrr limited edition Wicked palette. And guess what's on my lips? Hello, PRINTcesses, and welcome back to Not Fit for Print Beauty with me, Rebecca. Today we have, well, a bunch of things to cover that you saw previewed, and I only do a little bit of a preview when we have a lot of products that we're going to discuss. If you recall, quite a few videos ago, I asked you guys to chime in on whether you liked the preview or not, and after hearing your answers, I decided just when we have a chock-full video. If not, we won't bother. So as you can see today, we have a chock-full video. So happy to have you here. Don't forget that you can also catch my content over on TikTok, Instagram, and on Threads. If you are in a hurry today and you are only interested in one or two of the products mentioned, please make use of the very descriptive timestamps that are down below this video in the description bar, or you can scroll across them and check out that description bar for fun things like places to buy all of these items, ways to give super thanks, always appreciated, and ways to join us in our $4.99 a month membership here on YouTube. We have weekly lives, giveaways, fun stuff. Okay, let's talk about our products at hand so we can get into it. Don't adjust your screen. Yeah, it's like, I know it seems a little strange here, but I have two completely different looks on, including blush. And that is courtesy of one of the products we're going to be talking about today. And that is the collaboration between Patrick Starrr and his brand One Size and the hit Broadway musical Wicked. That is right here. This is an eye and face palette and represents the two sisters in the musical Wicked, which is Glinda and then a name I can never ever say, Alphaba. Did I say it right? Alphaba. Okay. And it's this really cute little packaging, and we have the Alphaba side and the Glinda side, and that's what I got going here as well. Today, you'll see in the demo. Now, I'm not a huge Broadway musical fan. I've seen almost all of them, but I like plays. I love theater, but I don't always love musicals. I'll tell you why I bought this. It's not because I'm like a collector of all things Wicked. I think Patrick Starrr is extraordinarily talented, and I think his powder products are legendary, and I don't think he gets enough credit. I covered his Disney collaboration, which didn't need Disney. It was a brilliant palette, and a lot of people didn't purchase it, kind of went over their heads. I know Patrick Starrr got a lot of attention with that really Barbie pink blush he did this last summer. You know, the whole Barbie summer thing. It took off. Good for him. But I think he's underrated with all the other powders he does. I bought this because I just wanted to see how they perform, and spoiler alert, is fantastic. You can see our two different looks going here. So what we have are two different blushes for the two witchy sisters here, and each gets 6 different eye shades in matte and shimmer and satin. So we have kind of the good look and the darker look, as you can see I'm sporting here. But you'll see me apply it in the demo. Let's take a look at some swatches, shall we? Here we are first. We're going to do two different lights. In Studio Light, we have the Wicked palette. Both sides of the palette is laid out on my arm the way you see it in the palette. But, I mean, how are we going to see it better? Obviously outside in the warm California sunshine. Take a look at it out there on my arm. So pretty. Really pretty. And we're going to start today in the demo with complexion. We do a lot of things with complexion here, a lot of things with complexion. And today our complexion is going to be brought to us a little bit of Hourglass, you'll see in the demo, but mostly KEVYN AUCOIN and Pat McGrath. Now I will sneak in here that there is a little sneak. I'm wearing something on my lips, and I'm going to give you some clues to guess what it is later. It cannot be revealed yet because it hasn't been released. But I have it here, and I couldn't help. Let's just say, think 1990s. I'll give you some more hints later, and I'll let you guess. I'll let you know if you guess right. I'll let you know. But that's on my lips already. Went to a Zoom about it yesterday. Super exciting. Okay, so let's talk about our complexion and how we're going to do that today. The first thing we're going to use is this new product from KEVYN AUCOIN Beauty. It is $39. Did I tell you that the One Size palette with Wicked was $49? pretty good price for all those. Okay, so the KEVYN AUCOIN Face Forward Color Corrector is $39. This does under eye circles, blemishes, uneven pigmentation. It's got everything you need. It spreads beautifully on the skin, as you'll see in the demo. This deepest shade is for the deeper skin tones that have darkness to cover, or if you are like me, I have that dark pits of despair, you've heard me refer to it, in the center of my eyes, and we're going to use this today to get rid of it. This is also just kind of a neutralizing normal concealer color, or you can go ahead and mix these two on the back of your hand or on a palette. And what does the green do? It covers up ruddiness. I get red on my cheeks, red on my nose like Rudolph. A lot of people get red on the chin. So I am going to be able to use all three today. You can mix and match or just use one. It travels easily, doesn't hesitate when it spreads on the face. It is a beautiful color corrector. If I were a makeup artist, I would have this, but I kind of need it anyway because I am a blemishy lady. I almost said a Blemishy B. That would have been funny, but we're a family show. So we're going to use that today, cover it with a little concealer from Fenty and a little bit of light skin tint from Hourglass, because a lot of people have been talking to me about that. All right, the last thing on our agenda for today is our Pat McGrath Blurring Under Eye Powder in Baby Pink, $35. Pat McGrath is now making this in 5 shades. This is the 5th in the Baby Pink. I have a lot of them here. When it was originally just kind of like skin toned, I got this in, let's see what shade I got in a medium. This is the medium shade. I'm actually going to swatch all of them for you, don't you worry. Then when she did a yellow, this kind of color correcting yellow, kind of get some of the darkness a little bit. I bought that. I'll swatch it. I also bought the brightening light shade, which is kind of a white shade. And now this Baby Pink. Let me just have a word with you about this before we even swatch it, okay? First of all, beautiful as usual. Perfect little touch up with a little mirror here. Really nice. I have heard a lot of people tell me that people are upset because the pink and the white are so similar. Here's the light shade that's kind of white and the pink next to each other. And like I said, I'm going to swatch them for you in a moment. Guys, they got to be similar. This is not an eyeshadow. It's an under eye powder. The fact that it is a nuanced, slightly pinker shade than the white is on purpose, just to give that little bit of brightening pick-me-up that a pink needs to do. But doesn't a white do that? Yeah. But when you are a makeup artist, I'm not a makeup artist, but you like to have all these in your arsenal so you can pick and choose based on skin tone. It's not like Pat McGrath thinks we're going to buy every single shade. I do have many of the shades, of course, because I'm comparing them for you guys. But it's not that she thinks you're going to have every single shade. You're just going to pick and choose. And this one is brightening, a little bit of color correcting. This one is really mostly just brightening. It just depends what you're looking for. Charlotte Tilbury has a white one of these too. And I bet you she's got a pink one coming down the road. Now I just thought of that, right? Charlotte Tilbury, I bet you she does. I don't know that, but okay. So yeah, it's nuanced. This isn't an eyeshadow. It's not supposed to be just dark pastel pink. Please don't think that, okay? And so we're going to use that today as well. Let me show you some swatches. Here's what I did. 2 different lights. First in Studio Light, we have the Baby Pink all the way left, followed by that white light shade, that yellow shade, and the medium shade. And yeah, they're all very close. They're all under eye powders. They're all meant to be translucent with just a little bit of color to it. Let's take it outside into the warm California sunshine. Same thing, Baby Pink, white, yellow, medium. There's 4 shades. There are 5. Yes, the Baby Pink and the white right next to each other there are very alike. That's okay. They're just transparent, translucent, I should say, under eye powders. They got to be kind of nuanced like that. It's important, right? Okay, so we're going to use all of these products, and I'm going to give you some more hints about what I'm wearing on my lips. If any of you guess, I'm literally going to applaud. If you guess, you might. Wouldn't that be cool? Okay, so if you guess, I'll tell you if you're right. I'm excited about this lip thing. As you can tell, I need to just shut my mouth, but I can't. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the demo. Do me a favor. If you haven't subscribed yet, could you hit the subscribe button? It really helps me get the word out, please. And let's go to the demo right now. So I've been sitting here without the camera on, trying to kind of come up with a game plan to display all these products properly. Like I told you, there's actually a lot of thought that goes in behind all of this, truly, and you know, how to make it all show off to its best. So let's do one side of the face with the color corrector, and we'll put a little concealer on it, and one side without. And then we'll look at if, then we'll do both sides and do maybe one side with the pink powder. Let's see. All right, so I do have some research into this as well. And the fun thing about this is because I have like a medium light neutral skin tone, you know, it kind of works to demonstrate all the shades. You know, I just turned out that way. So we're going to go with this darkest shade right in here on the dark pits of despair. We're going to go with the green shade wherever I have redness. So like basically I'm just going to stick my face in it. Very, very funny that we have the green witch coming up here. Part of the reasoning. And then this regular shade just kind of everywhere else, maybe under the eyes, etc. All right, so let's go in and try it. And for this, I'll be employing a lot of different brushes, some synthetic and some mixed fiber. Let's go ahead and use this from the Sonia G Fusion first. You saw a refer there, but okay, so let's go in with this darkest one here. Now this, if you had a deeper skin tone than I, from medium to deep, this would be your all over cover for anything darker, okay? Kind of like for my skin tone where I would use a peach, the deeper your skin tone, you'd go here. But I have a lot to cover up here. You guys you've met the dark pits of despair, right? You've met them before, okay. That is what I really need concealer for. Now, there is no doubt that this will look ridiculous and bright orange. We're just going to do one side. I mean, we're all aware of it. That's kind of the point. It's going to look ridiculous. But the idea is that as I spread it out, and this is beautifully spreadable. I know. You're just seeing orange right now. But after I get the concealer over it, it should look a heck of a lot better. And in fact, it seems like I'm making a joke. I know it's hard to tell. But stay with me here. And in fact, now it's bright orange, but it has already kind of color corrected. Granted, I know I have to get rid of the orange now. I realize that. Okay, so that goes there. And then we're going to take our B01 brush from Refer, and we're going to go into the kind of typical shade here. Now, you're going to say to me, could you mix these two, like on a palette, to create kind of a custom concealer shade? Sure. Or custom corrector shade, I should say. Of course you can. Again, being light, medium, neutral, I don't have to, which makes it kind of quicker for our purposes here. But could you take the time on your own to do that? Absolutely, you could. Okay, now let's talk about redness. Okay, and we have, we got to do that little spot there, right? Let's talk about redness. I got a lot of it. I got a lot of it here, 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 here. And then we have this, in the community, you guys have affectionately named this blemish Herman. The blemish is gone, but it's left that spot of kind of discoloration. I can't even speak when it comes to Herman, discoloration. That was due, I cannot stop talking about it, that was due to the super goop. I was so uncomfortable in it, and then look what it did. Okay, so let's go ahead and use the green. I'm not going to do this side of the face, but I am going to because of Herman. So this is going to be green. Now, green, I've made the joke so many times, I know it's not even funny anymore. But what I've often said is that green definitely takes away red because it leaves you green like witchy poo. So it must be why it was in my head to do this with this Wicked palette. Is this what Patrick Starrr used on his face in order to do the promos? Did you guys see he was dressed as that witch? Where's my broomstick and my hat? Okay. Okay, and then, though we're not doing this side of the face, how could we leave Herman out? Let's see if he's... And notice I did it night. I really put it on there. Okay, I did not cover this redness because we'll compare, okay? So, already, the redness is neutralized. Admittedly, I am left with a green and red face. Somebody, you know, it's funny, you guys always send me, when people send you things from Reddit and whatnot, you always send me like screenshots of it. Someone's going to put this on Reddit. Should I pose? Like it's a glamour shot? What is she doing over there on Not Fit for Print Beauty? She's got a green face. Okay, let's see. What am I using here in terms of a concealer? This is not a concealer video. I have done a review. This is the Fenty concealer. Why did I choose it? It's light, it's pliable, but it still has a nice amount of coverage. We're not going to be using a foundation in this video, so I thought I could apply this fairly liberally. And normally I would put on a foundation first and then a concealer. And that would give it a lot more chance, but I just kind of want to see what it does here. And so we are using a concealer. If you'd use a foundation and a concealer, sometimes the lightest concealer will work because, you know, all you need to do, I don't need to conceal anymore. I just need to conceal the corrector. You understand what I mean? Okay. Let's see what we got going here. I'm also letting it sit a little bit while we chat. Okay. So do remember that normally, I know I should put something on this guy. I'm kind of using this as a foundation. I just want to see if it works. I mean, I can even go in and put some foundation if we need to. I just kind of want to see what we think here. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten Herman the Blemish. Okay, let me just use my hands. And as you see, I don't even have any foundation on. And just some thin, but, you know, medium coverage concealer. So I didn't want it to cake. Has done the trick. Okay, so we have half a face done. All right, let's see what we think. Remember, if you put foundation on, it's going to cover even better. Now, you might be seeing green through this because you've already seen it. You know, once you've like, you know, seen behind the screen, you know. But, you know, if you're just talking to me on the street, you wouldn't be like, I think I see some green. You really wouldn't. Okay, so let's talk about it. We got half the face. I do see some green though. We've got half the face covered. Remember, normally, you know, I'd have all my makeup over this, okay? And now here we go here on this side. I know we haven't done Herman yet. What do you think of the dark pits of despair without with? I don't actually see the green. I really just think I do because I saw it before. Okay, let's see. Oh, sorry. Okay. All right, and a little bit of concealer. A lot of concealer. I got some green on my concealer. Okay, again, normally we would go with foundation and then concealer. So it would go, the order doesn't matter, you do you, but it would kind of go color corrector, foundation, concealer. Change the order if you want. Okay, what I'm going to do now, normally I speed this up, but because I'm kind of looking green and I'm going quickly, let me just do the rest of the color correcting like I did on this side, and then, you know, I'll tell you if I did anything differently, and then I'll come right back. I'm not going to even speed it up and make you wait even through that. Okay, let me tell you what I did off camera so that nobody thinks there's any shenanigans going on here. I still felt, even with, you know, I felt a little silly applying concealer all over my face. I know I often do that, but it was like getting ridiculous because I had so much green. So I went ahead and I added on, I did the other side just like I did this side. And then I added on just a very, very thin layer of this Hourglass skin tint, which is one of my favorites. I really suggest picking this up while the Sephora sale is still going. I added that on, and that, now I don't see any green. You know, it probably does need that if you're going to go all ham like I did. But take a look, okay? So that's all I did. Nothing else, I assure you. And I did a very thin layer of this. I just didn't want you guys to sit through it even sped up. All right, what do you think? Let's look at the dark pits of despair. I mean, that's a pretty good complexion. And I really went crazy. I really went crazy, especially with the green. Now look at the super, super, super dark orangey red in my light, medium, neutral skin on the inside of the eye. Did it cover it up? Well, I most certainly think it did. Now you might say to me, Rebecca, I'm not gonna mess with all that. I was chatting through it. I made it longer than it needed to be. It's all here in one little compact, travels easily, nice and secure. And depending on skin tone, of course, this would be for the darkest areas, this would be for the slightly darker areas, and this for the red, and it's all there to go. And you can go ahead and mix and match a color custom on the back of your hand, on a palette. This little thing is invaluable and really super easy to use. I switch brushes, so I don't want any of you guys to think I'm, you know, intermingling the, when you're at home alone, just go ahead and dip with the same brush and, it doesn't really matter if you get some of the normal concealer color into the green. You're covering it all up. And like I said, ideally, and you don't have to do this, but ideally, color corrector, foundation, concealer. But I actually did concealer first and then foundation, and we're fine. And I think that looks like a flawless complexion. Check out even Herman, the blemish that's scarred me. Spagoop! That is a pretty good complexion. But I'll tell you one thing it needs. You see my line of thinking here. I'll tell you what it needs. It must be powdered because I got 3 layers on, right? All right, so this is where our brand new Pat McGrath Baby Pink comes in. You saw it compared. It is a little bit like the white, but that nuance is all the difference perhaps. So let's see. Take a look at my eyes right here, and let's take a little bit of this pink, just a little bit, and let's go ahead and put it underneath the eye. And let's set this because everything is moving on my eyes because I got a lot of powder. So let's go ahead and set it. And I usually use a little bit of a lighter coat than that. You know, you don't really have to go crazy, but I'm just really trying to show you this. And then around here. And again, people say, but it's so close to the white. That nuance, you know, Mother Pat developed that on purpose. Okay. Both sides have all the layers, but only this side has the powder. What do you think? Are you able to see the difference? I absolutely am, and that will set it. Okay, so I'm going to do the other side, and then we can get into this Wicked palette. Now that we're all set to go, let's set Herman. And we'll set the T-zone too. But it's under eye powder. It's okay, it's brightening. Good stuff, right? Okay. Let's get into this Wicked palette here. Now, I admit, it's not necessarily calling to me and might have been something that in another life I would have skipped, except that I know what Patrick Starrr does, and I think he's underrated. So we're going to play with this. Maybe we'll even do 2 looks. We'll do our Glinda look and you have to forgive me because I've been to a lot of Broadway shows, but I haven't been to this one. I know. Alphaba look? Is that it? You guys can correct me. I haven't been to the show. I taught theater. I know a lot about theater, but I'm not always up on the newest plays. And I will tell you, On My Lips is a surprise that is coming later in another video. It's a product that hasn't been released yet, but it might look a little familiar. And that's the only hint I'm going to give you. It's very exciting. Okay, so let's do 2 different looks from 2 different sides of this really fun palette. 2 different brushes for the cheeks. This is going to be the Glinda side, of course, so we will do the Glinda blush. This can be used wet or dry, not necessarily the blush, so I suppose that too. The palette in general can be used wet or dry. And I don't feel I have to keep the shades too separate because you get them all with the palette, whether you want them all or not. And this is a real kind of fun, pretty bubblegum pink. I did overdo it a little bit. Switching brushes. Alphaba, that's it, right? Alphaba. I'm sitting here staring at it. I gotta go see the play. I know the songs. How could you not, right? Alphaba. Did I do it right? I know Popular. I know who starred in it in Broadway. I know that. I haven't been to a Broadway play in a long time. And I think Wicked came here to Los Angeles and I didn't go. I'm admitting it, but I can admit it because I've pretty much been to any other Broadway show. I'm not a big musical fan. I love theater, but I'm not a big, switch brushes, sorry. But I'm not a big, I'm not always a big musical fan. Do you guys hate me? For instance, I haven't seen, what have I not seen? I haven't seen Hamilton. Am I the only one in the world? I haven't seen Hamilton. I haven't seen a lot. I haven't been to a Broadway play in years, so I'm a little out of it there. Okay, so there's our 2 blushes, our Glinda side and our Alphaba side. Alphaba. There, I said it right that time, didn't I? I've been trying. Okay, so let's do the Glinda side with a little bit of, this is our brush 1 from Refer, and it is the normal one, not the Max and not the Mini, which you know is a favorite, right over the Pat McGrath powder, which is holding up really, really well. Okay, same number 1 brush. This is the Glinda side. We're going in with this brown shade. Yeah, you know, typical Patrick Starrr. These are beautiful powders. I mean, look at how easy this is. Look at how it blends. Look how pretty it is. And I just don't feel like he'll get the credit he deserves. Now, you're going to say, you're just trying to get his attention. No, are you kidding? I am not his demographic. First of all, Patrick Starrr has no idea I exist. And second of all, even if he did, I'm not who he's going after. But I still, from afar, think he's underrated. I do. Okay, I'm going to stick with this number 1. I'm going to stay away from these blues. I'm sorry, guys. I just am. Let's go with this shade right here on the lid. Ooh, isn't that pretty? I do feel like a good witch, let me tell you. And into this shade. And this little blue overtone shade is very much like the Guerlain palette we were looking at yesterday. And Chanel has done it too, of course. Hey, that's pretty. That is our Glinda kind of good witch side, right? And then we have Alphaba on the other side. This is her misunderstood sister, right? See, I know a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to go in with this shade here. This is a B03 brush from Refer. Some of these might be prototypes. Sorry, guys. I grabbed them from my Refer pile. You know I'm a big fan. Okay, sticking with that brush. Now, this is going to be a darker look because her face is green. I should have just... I missed an opportunity to just leave green all over my face for this. I missed my opportunity. Okay, let's do this shade right here. Oh boy, I'm kind of nervous. It's very deep. Oh no, look at how nicely it blends. Again, another underrated Patrick Starrr palette. I'm telling you, I covered that Disney palette and barely anybody watched, and I don't care because it's worth covering. You know, a lot of creators are like, okay, that didn't get attention, so I won't cover it. I don't care. If it needs to be covered, I'm going to cover it. And this is pretty. Let's do this really light green here. I mean, obviously, I could do more than one look. Woo! I was going to sing Popular, but first of all, no one wants to hear me sing, and second of all, they would demonetize it, right? Because it's copywritten. But mostly, you don't want to hear me sing. There's a reason I'm not on Broadway. I did teach theater for many years, and I'm not a theater person. They just needed someone in a pinch, and I did it, and it was fun. And we had a really successful program. I taught theater to 8th grade and some high school kids, not knowing anything about it. If you've ever been a public school teacher, you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Should we do maybe a little bit of a deeper one? Let's do this deeper one. Same brush. Why make brush laundry on the outside just to deepen it? Whoa, that's really deep. Get some of that off the brush. Yeah, it still worked. Okay, let me find another brush that I can kind of disperse that with. Okay. I'm not angry at that. It was more than I bargained for when I put it there, but it's kind of cool. Especially because I took it and I blended it, and I probably need to like sharpen that line a little bit, maybe with some concealer, because that went out, but I kind of like it. It's definitely, we definitely have two different sides of these two. They're sisters, right? She says, never having seen the play. That's pretty. Okay, what about, should we do some of this as like do I have any fallout? Little bit of fallout, but that's because I did that glitter bomb on the side there. Little bit of fallout from the other shades. Fallout doesn't bother me. What about if I did something as a little bit of a highlighter? That, you know, this shade that I used has a little bit to it, you know? It does. It has a little bit of shimmer to it. Just a little bit, not glitter. The other shades are very glittery. I love it. Two different looks, but how fun. And look at how well and cohesive this look is, and then how cohesive this look is. You might not be a Wicked fan, or like me, you might not have seen it and just know about it peripherally. That's fun because the product inside is good. There's people who will buy it because they're celebrating Wicked, and there's just people like me who will buy it because I think Patrick Starrr makes a darn good powder. I've told you this. I also think Gwen Stefani's Give is underrated. And then there's other brands, Westman and Atelier, that I think are overrated. You know, what can I say? So let's do a little bit of a roundup here. First of all, the KEVYN Aqua Face Forward Color Corrector is divine. It works. It's quick, much quicker than I led you to believe when I was chatting through it. And it's fun. I loved it. I absolutely love it. And I really went to town, so it did need both concealer and, but you know, when I put this Hourglass on, it's a face tint. This isn't like Estee Lauder Double Wear, you know. I just needed that a little extra layer, and I don't think you see it anymore. And it really made for an absolutely flawless canvas, which you gotta love. Put it with something like Estee Lauder Double Wear, with the new Christian Louboutin, with, my goodness, any of these other slightly thicker, wow. You'd have, oh, with that new Urban Decay foundation, oh, you would have this, oh my goodness, with the new MAC, the reformulated MAC. I reviewed all of these. It should be a beautiful canvas. Please consider it if, like me, you've got a lot that you're trying to cover up. Okay, in terms of the powder, yes, this pink powder is quite similar to the white. That is nuanced on purpose. I'm not a makeup artist either, so I cannot guess what goes through the mind of a makeup artist, but if you are a makeup artist, comment below, because I know you will agree with me. There's a nuance for a reason. Pat McGrath was not trying to make a pink eyeshadow. She was making a slightly pink under eye, slightly brightening, slightly color correcting, flawless airbrush look powder. And it is slightly pink for a reason. If not, it would be an eyeshadow. Okay, and I think that about covers all of our bases. And remember, pretty soon coming up, do you remember this? I'm going to give you a hint. Think 90s staple. 1990s staple. Guess. I'm not going to tell you yet what it is, but I might give you a little hurt if you're right. What is a staple of 1990s for the lips? Because it's back, baby. And I know about it. I just went to a Zoom about it yesterday, and it's here in my hot little hands, and it's coming up, and you are going to be so excited. I can't wait to share it with you in a few days when it is released. So I'm just teasing it now. But yeah, go ahead and guess down below. I wonder if anyone's going to guess. 1990s staple for the lips. And when I say staple, I mean everywhere. Think George Michael videos, think supermodels. It was the item for your lips in the 1990s. Someone's going to get it. Oh my gosh. Okay, so go ahead and guess. Any other questions about Pat McGrath, KEVYN Aqua, about our lovely Patrick Starrr palette, that you can still get some of these things on sale. I think the Pat McGrath might be gone already, but you can still get certainly the Wicked palette and have a lot of fun with it. This is what makes us a community. Give me those comments down below. Make sure that you share and like, and please subscribe. And I'll see you all soon in the next video. Bye-bye.